In Singapore, SingTel facing a second straight day of connectivity issues. The telco is saying on social media that a small number of customers may have experienced difficulties. An outage tracking website lists the number of reports as peaking at nearly 400 at 9 a.m. SingTel says the issue today is unrelated to the incident the day before, and mobile connectivity has been restored for all the affected customers. The telco has also apologized for the inconvenience caused. On Monday, SingTel faced almost 8 hours of connectivity issues. While it claimed they were rectified, affected customers continue to vent their frustrations, with some alleging no support from its customer service. Businesses say that while there were minor inconveniences, there was hardly any disruption to their sales. The Infocom Media Development Authority also saying there is no evidence the two incidents are cyber-related. Still, it warns that it takes any service disruptions seriously and will not hesitate to take strong regulatory action against SingTel if any lapses are identified. And for a deeper analysis, I'm joined by Prof. Anthony Tong from the NUS School of Computing. Professor, good to have you in the studio.
Good evening.
Now, SingTel is facing a second day of connectivity issues. What do you think could cause a mobile outage of this scale?
It's definitely not a single point of failure. So there must be a cascading errors over the systems. It could be hardware problem. It could be software configuration. But most likely it's also the core where the authentication and routings are having effects. So such sort of errors is difficult to track because they are actually very rare events. Because when there's multiple events, you never see it before. And if you are trying to recover A, B might turn out to have error also, and then B, if you repair B, you go to C. So they are actually, I believe, this type of error is they have been chasing to try to overcome this problem over the 8 hours or longer.
Yeah, so it could also explain why it went on to the second day, which is today as well. Now, telcos are supposed to have very strong safeguards in place. So how does such a lengthy disruption like this still happen?
Well, let me give the analogy of a vaccine. So when the vaccine protects you, you will know. Right? When the problem comes out, and then you say, oh, the vaccine doesn't work. But I'm sure all these safeguards have been in place. But going back to what I have mentioned as a rare event, the system is complex. And this error is probably this one that is never predicted. And when you are not predicting the errors, it gives you the most problem and it's most difficult to fix. Of course, you can say, I take a bit more vaccine, take another jab, but when you reach to 99% or 99, even if you reach there, whatever additional safety you have or performance you have is very expensive to pay. So are people, for example, willing to pay 3 times more to make sure that you move from 99 to 99.5% and such things. And guardrails are actually cost center. They don't actually bring in profit for the people. Right? So at certain level, you just have to accept that you take that 1% and then try to handle it like doing other things. Of course, I'm not saying that we shouldn't regulate and do things like that, but at a certain point, it will be too expensive to expect 100% performance.
Yeah, so cost aside, would you say then that incidents like this suggest that maybe the safeguards that are in place currently are not really enough? And if that's so, what more should be done to raise the protection in that sense?
Well, we have AI, but a lot of these things can actually grow better if you can find certain lightweight one, not the one that you build a nuclear plant to run, very lightweight AI or any recognition things that help the human to understand actually the complexity that is causing all this problem, and using that to detect in a better, more efficient manner, and to even predict in the future where are the unseen things that is coming from, right? But as I say, when you reach to 99.5, then there's nothing to do. Then the remaining 0.5%, you will do things like isolation, ensuring that it doesn't propagate to other parts of the systems, and then speed up the recoveries. So detect, isolation, and recoveries.
Yeah, you mentioned unseen threats earlier. So cyber attacks, of course, would be one such threat. Now, so far, SingTel has ruled out a cyber attack, but how concerned should we be about SingTel or other telcos' liability to cyber attacks in Singapore? And would you say telcos are actually quite attractive targets for these threat actors?
I'm sure we should. We are still concerned. The government have put in a lot of effort to proactively even remove some of the, for example, APT virus that we have been going. On the other hand, this is something that is ongoing and is always chasing each other, attacking each other. So again, those are rare events, and they will come up with new things using AI as well. And so our side will have to put in effort to make sure that we can counter this without, again, putting too much resource. So we are actually at a disadvantage over this because they can do a lot of resources. And while the protection side have to make sure that we can't overwhelm ourselves with those efforts, actually.
Yeah. Those concerns aside, from the user's perspective, though, 2 days of outage really is a concern. There's a lot of inconvenience. It's not just about the line going down, right? It's a lot of daily activities that people are not able to perform yesterday for 8 hours at a go. So should consumers expect better from local telcos?
We should always expect better. But on the other hand, I would definitely take proactive action myself to also ensure that I have no over-reliance on the phone, and also always have something to back up on. So it's important to degrade things in a general manner, gentle manner, rather than at one shot you cut out everything, right? So we have lived without phone for a lot of time. Of course, with the phone now, we get used to having the phones and everything inconvenience. But we definitely still must have set something to fall back on. For example, if the ATM does not work, we go to the bank. If the traffic light is no more controlled by remote, but manually, it will still works. So those are the things we can do. But yes, we still expect things from the telco. So far, I see is one disruption per year. So and hopefully, with more help to develop research, etc., it can be reduced further.
Yeah, and meanwhile, it's a good opportunity to strengthen our backups and safeguards as well.
Yes.
Professor, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your insights with us. I've been speaking with Prof. Anthony Tong from the NUS School of Computing.